Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Dan from DHTV, and this is the beginner's guide to the Pixel Watch, where you're going to learn how to use the Pixel Watch and get the most out of it. Let's get started. All right, so we've got our Pixel Watch and our Pixel phone here. It's good to have the phone with you here during this video because there are a few things we're going to use the phone for as well. So first thing, open up the Watch app on your phone. There's some settings here we'll go through in a bit, and you want to make sure you have your Pixel Watch turned on and set up. If you haven't set it up, there's a link in the description that'll walk you through the complete setup process. It's a little bit time consuming, so it's best to watch that video first and then come back to this one. But once you have everything set up, you'll be on a page like this and you'll see your Pixel Watch on both screens. Now, if you are looking to skip ahead to learn something specific, there's chapters and you can skip to those timestamps in the description so you can learn exactly what you want to learn. But for us, we're going to start with the basics here, and we're going to start with how to navigate and work with this watch. For starters, you have two buttons, your crown and your side button, and these can be pressed. For example, if we press on the crown, it's going to bring up our list of applications. If we press on the side button, it's going to bring up recent applications. If we press on it a second time, it'll bring us back to the previous page. From the digital crown again, if we press on it from any application, it'll exit that application and take us back to our home screen or our watch face. So let's just click on the digital crown, and now we can see our app library or app list. Now to scroll, it's as simple as using your fingers just like this to scroll up and down. You can also use the crown if you'd like, just by scrolling up and down like so. But I personally find that just using your finger is the easiest way and the fastest. Now, opening apps, as I showed you, pretty simple. It's just going to be a tap on the application. You can scroll through just like you did normally, and you can open up different sections within that app. If you ever need to go back, you can just swipe back like that, swipe back again to be taken to your home screen, and it'll work the same way in pretty much every application. Now, if you press and hold on the side button, it's going to bring up your voice assistant. Now, if you haven't set this up, it'll prompt you. Otherwise, you'll see the voice assistant is now listening to what I'm saying and will react accordingly. Now, one of the most popular features with smartwatches is the watch face and the customization you have. By default, when I set mine up, this was the watch face that they gave me. You can tap and hold on the watch face and you can swipe across to switch between any of these watch faces. If you scroll all the way to the end, you also have a plus icon. If you tap on that, you can choose any of these watch faces as well. You can even use your photos from your Photos app and use that as your watch face background. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see you can get more watch faces from the Google Play Store, which takes your customization even further. So let's just exit this and we'll make some changes. So once again, we tap and hold, and we're just going to choose a different watch face. This classic one is nice, so we'll tap on that, and now we've added this as our watch face. Now you'll notice within different watch faces there's little circles or options, and those are actually the complications within the watch face. If we tap and hold, you'll see a little edit option below the watch face. Let's give that a quick tap here. And this is going to bring up the options we have to edit. So for now, we have this. It's in the cloud color. We can switch over to Arabic. We can switch over again, and now we can even tap in those circles and change those watch face complications. So for example, let's say we didn't want the calendar there. We can use empty, or we can scroll down to find one that we like. So if we wanted to add the alarm, now our alarm is in there. It'll let us know, and we can always access it right from the watch face, just like that. Moving one over, we can remove the second hand if we like. So you can tap on that. It'll remove the second hand from the watch face or add it back in. When you're happy with your customization, just press on that crown button, and now your watch face is set up. Additionally, you can do the same thing from the watch face section on the actual phone. So your phone here has a watch face tab. You can tap on that and see all the watch faces you have on your My Watch Face list. You can add new ones here as well, and you get more customization by adding them here because you'll actually be able to see a lot more than you can on this little watch. So the one we just tapped, you can see all the different colors we can choose from for the backgrounds, changing things up. We can also go down here and change the complication slots. It's a lot easier to see. I traditionally use the phone to make my edits, but that's how you do it either with the phone or your Pixel Watch. Now, installing applications is a very big part to all smartwatches, and the Pixel Watch is no exception here. So we're just going to open our app list here, and we'll scroll down and tap on Play Store right here. It's going to open up the complete Google Play Store for the watch, and we can actually search right here for specific applications that we want, or we can just go down and search through this featured list. When we find an application that we like, for example, this to-do list here, we can tap on it. We'll scroll up a little bit, tap install, and it's going to download that application to our Pixel Watch. So now it's installed, we can tap to open it here, or we'll see it in our app list as well. So we just quickly go there, and it was called to-do list right there. We can tap, open up that application we just installed, and start using it with our Pixel Watch. Additionally, if we just go back to the Play Store here, we can go back and delete applications here or uninstall them from our watch if we don't want them anymore. So on the main page of the Play Store, we'll just scroll all the way to the bottom here, and we have a section that says Manage Apps. If we tap on that here, it's going to open up the apps that are installed on our watch right now. So if we don't want one, for example, let's find that to-do list app that we just installed, and we can actually remove it from our watch here. So just find it right there, tap, scroll down, and tap uninstall. It's going to uninstall the app, and it'll no longer be installed on our Pixel Watch. Going back, we have some settings here that we can also look up. Mainly the auto update apps is what we're going to look at in the settings. I keep it on. It's good to have that on, that way it automatically updates and you always have the latest version of the apps on your Pixel Watch. Now, from your watch face, you have a few options that you can access. The first one, if you pull up from the bottom, is your notification. So anytime you get any kind of message or notification, it'll appear in your notification section here. Now, I don't have any here, but when you see them, you'll be able to tap on them and then work with them accordingly. Now, moving back to our watch face here, there's something called tiles, and to access these tiles, you're just going to swipe left or right on the watch face, and you can see it brings up a few of these tiles here, which are just basically quick access to some of the more used applications and sections of the applications that you like. So right now I have quite a few here, but let's say I wanted to add a new one. All I have to do is tap and hold on any one of those tiles. I have a little plus icon. I can tap on that, and it'll bring up the different applications we can add to our tile carousel. So let's say we wanted to add some sleep tracking. We would tap on that, and now it's added to our carousel. We can just tap on it to confirm, and now when we go through that different carousel of applications, we can see sleep is there as well. If we wanted to remove one of them for whatever reason, let's say we didn't want our ECG to be here, we're just going to tap and hold on that, and then just swipe up. It'll remove that from the carousel. If you pull down from the top, it's going to bring up some quick settings, and there's quite a few here that you can use. So your home or your Google Home option to control your home accessories that you may have set up with your Google Home account. There's a flashlight here. If you turn that on, it'll just make a very bright light. This is your Google Pay, so if you like to pay for things with your devices and you have that set up, you can quickly access it there. You have your airplane mode, which shuts down all of your network access, so it's great for if you're on a plane or if you need to reset something, turning it off and turning it back on. You can see we were disconnected. This middle option is great. I use this all the time. If you lose your phone that the watch is connected to, you can always ping or ring that phone just by pressing that button. So we'll tap in the middle. You can hear the phone is ringing. You can look around the house or wherever you are to find it, and hopefully that helps you find it. The next one is a quick brightness toggle, and it'll give you access to your brightness. So you can tap on the minus here to lower the brightness or the plus to raise the brightness. You also have an adaptive brightness, which will change based on your setting, and you can customize those really quick here as well. You have your nighttime routine here, so if you tap on this, it'll turn on bedtime mode. So if you do sleep with your watch, you can read about that right here, what it'll do, and you can tap OK to turn it on. In the middle, we have our do not disturb, so if you don't want to be disturbed with notifications or anything like that, you can turn this feature on here as well. This one right here, if we tap on it quickly, you'll see that this will turn on a theater mode, which turns off the screen and screen wake gestures and silences alerts. So this way you're not disturbing anyone while you're in the movie, and it's not going to ring or flash the screen at anyone. It's a great feature, especially if you like to go to the theater and you have your watch on. This next one is a quick battery access, so you can see your battery percentage and battery toggles. We're going to actually look at that in just a second, so we're going to skip over that for now. In the middle, we have our settings, so you can access all of your main settings here really quickly and easily. And then the last one here is our silence button. So the ringer is on right now. If we tap on it, we can turn the ringer off, and it's just a quick access to that feature. Lastly, at the bottom, this little green icon is just your connectivity status icon, and it'll change based on the situation. So those are your quick settings within the Pixel Watch. Now, battery life is a huge problem with a lot of smartwatches, so saving or conserving your battery is a good idea wherever possible. Now, there's a few things you can do with this watch to help your battery life. We're going to move to our phone here for a few of these settings, and we'll come back to the watch in just a second. So first, just scroll down. You can see all of these sections here are open to us for access. We'll tap on the notifications first. And anytime you're prompted with a notification on your watch, the screen is going to light up, which means it's going to use a little bit more battery than normal. So in the notification section here, you can see there's a tab here that says see all apps from 7 days. And then up here, we're going to tap on that and tap all applications. So these are all the applications we have on our Pixel Watch. And if we scroll down, you can see that they're all turned on to receive notifications. You can go through this list and deselect the ones that you don't feel are needed. Like I don't use Google Home, so I'm going to turn that off. I don't need those notifications. Let's say I don't use the maps either. I can turn that off as well. So that way I don't get notified if things are updating or whatever. But I'm going to turn them back on for now. But you want to go through this list. That way you can help conserve your battery life and receive less notifications that aren't needed. Moving down a little bit, we have watch preferences. We'll tap on that. And the display and gestures is a very big section. And we'll start from the top. So your screen timeout. So that's how long the screen will stay on before it times out and darkens back up. I have mine set to 30 seconds. Obviously, the lower, the better. That way your screen is on less before it times out. You also have the always on screen display here, and this is a great feature. I have it on. It's not on by default, but it'll give you that always on display. If you don't want that, just keep it off or turn it off if it's on already. And you can see right there underneath it, it says it reduces the watch battery life if you leave it on. Tilt to wake is the same thing. So if you have your watch on your wrist and you tilt it to wake it up, that's going to use more battery life because we do tilt our arms quite a bit throughout the day, so it will be turning on and off throughout the day. So you can turn that option off as well. And then you have touch to wake, which is touching the screen to wake it up. So while it's on, if I touch the screen, it would wake it up. If I turn that off and I touch the screen here, now you can see it won't turn on. You can still access the screen by pressing on the crown, so it doesn't eliminate you from accessing the screen, but this would give you the most battery saving opportunity in these settings. Personally, I turn them all on and I leave it on 30 seconds, but you want to find a good balance between what you want and your battery life. Now, the screen brightness is also a huge battery drainer here, so we're just going to use the quick settings on the watch here for this and tap on that brightness toggle, and you can see how it's set up. We're going to turn adaptive brightness off here first, and then we're going to take the screen brightness as far down as we can. This is going to limit how much power is being used to brighten up that screen. Once again, though, for me, I have adaptive on, and I usually leave it like this. We're going to scroll down to where we see the sound. And you can turn the sound way down if you'd like for your call volume and your media volume. That way it's not going to be as loud, which means it's not going to use as much battery. You also have the vibrations here, which are pretty important. If you have vibrations going through the watch, obviously that's going to use more power. So turning them off in different areas like the vibration and haptics, or using the crown, like maybe when you turn the crown, you don't need those vibrations on. It's up to you, but you can configure this a little bit more and turn off the ones that aren't as needed. That way you don't use as much battery. And lastly, here we have the battery settings themselves. So you can see we're at 52% battery, and we have a battery saver, and this will turn on the always on display. And you'll see when this is turned on, it'll turn off always on screen and tilt to wake. So those two options we looked at a little earlier will be off by just turning the battery saver on. So it's right there for you as well. So it's really good to just familiarize yourself with these options. So that way, if you are in a pinch or you need to save some battery life, you know where to go. Now, in the situation where you need to turn off your Pixel Watch, it's pretty simple. You're going to press and hold on the crown button. And it'll take a few seconds. You'll feel a vibration and you'll see some options here to power it off, restart, or even call emergency services. Tap to power it off. You'll see it'll shut down. It'll take a few seconds to power down completely. And then how to turn on your Pixel Watch, it's pretty simple as well. You're just going to press and hold on that crown button. You'll see a logo appear, you can let go, and it'll take about 30 to 45 seconds for the Pixel Watch to turn back on. Now, for those of you who are buying this watch for a lot of the fitness integration, you'll need a Fitbit account. Fitbit is pretty much the fitness tracking that's being done with this watch. So you'll want to set up your account. That way you can access some of these features. If you try to open any of them and you're not signed in to your Fitbit account, it's going to prompt you here to go to your phone and set it up. So I'm going to assume you go to your phone, you've set up your Fitbit account, now you can access all of these features. And one of them is the ECG. Now to access the ECG, you're just going to scroll down here and you can see it says Fitbit ECG. When you tap on it, this is going to give you the ability to take an ECG. It says rest your finger lightly on the face of the crown. Don't touch the wrist or watch with other fingers, and we're going to do that. And there you go. The data is collected, it's analyzing it, and now we have a normal sinus rhythm. Now, if you do get any kind of abnormal result or you want to send these results to your doctor, you definitely can. You can learn more about it right there. Tap done when you're done or click on the crown button, and this is all going to stay tracked in your apps. Now, another tracker you have with your Pixel Watch is the heart rate monitor, and you can see I have mine right here on my watch face. And these watch faces, you can interact with them right here. So I can see my heart rate's at 77. I can tap on that and it's going to open up my heart rate information right through that Fitbit application there, so I can see what's going on. Now I can also just open up my app list here and then click on my Fitbit Today option here, and I can scroll down all the way here to where I see the heart rate. I'll be able to see my heart rate in action live right there. I can also see my resting heart rate right there, and I can tap on it to see that information I just showed you earlier. Now let's go over the settings within the Pixel Watch, and for this we'll use the watch. So we're just going to press on that crown and scroll all the way down to where we see our settings application. Give that a quick tap. And we're going to go from the top down. First, we have connectivity. So if you ever need to connect things via Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, your mobile, NFC, and your airplane mode option, they're all here. So you can tap on your Bluetooth, and then you can see what's connected right now. We have our Pixel 7 Pro, but if you wanted to connect some headphones, you can do that here as well. Going back, you just swipe from the left to the right. Go back one more time, and we're on the main settings page. Next is display. We just kind of looked at that, but there's a few here that we didn't see before. First off is the sunlight boost. This is also going to help your battery life, especially if you work or are in a sunny area a lot. This sunlight boost is going to temporarily boost the screen brightness in direct sunlight. So if this is something you're in all the time, turning it off will help save your battery life. Otherwise, you can leave it on. I do because I'm not always in the sun. It does help to see the screen when you are in very bright sunlight. Font size here, if you want to control how large or how small the font is, you can play here by just tapping on it and you can see it's getting larger, or you can tap to make it smaller. I'm going to leave it where it is. This is totally your personal preference. We have the screen timeout, which I showed you earlier already, but you can control it right here from the watch itself. We have go to watch face after 1 minute. So this is if you leave your watch on and let's say you're in an application or you're in your app library, your watch will automatically go back to the watch face after 1 minute. You can set this to immediately, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And again, that's totally personal preference on what you want to do. Next, we have the always on screen, which I showed you earlier, but you can also access it right here. And then lastly on the list is the wrist orientation. So you just want to tell the watch which hand it's on. So left hand, right hand, and the crown is on the right side or left side. If you change things up, I traditionally use my left hand and the crown on the right, but if you have it differently, make sure it's in the right place, just so that all the metrics and sensors work as they should with your Pixel Watch. The next setting is gestures here, and if we tap on that, you have tilt to wake, touch to wake, which we looked at a little earlier, touch lock, touch and hold watch face to change. So if you want to turn that off so you don't touch and hold to change your watch faces, you can, but I traditionally leave these alone. The app and notifications, we pretty much went through this earlier, but you do have do not disturb, default apps, app info, permissions, and app storage. So you can click on these. We kind of looked over this earlier though. The Google section here is just going to allow you to access your Google Assistant and the accounts as well. So you can play around there if you need to make changes. Sound, I showed you earlier with the battery saving tips, and same with the vibrations. Battery we looked at. The general tab here is going to go through another list of settings. So if you want your unread notifications dot, if you have notifications, a little dot appears on the screen. I don't have that, but when you're on your home screen here, you'll see a dot somewhere. If the dot's annoying to you or you don't want to see it, you can use that setting there to turn that off. I leave it on. Auto launch media controls and start tutorial. So you can click those if you would like to watch the tutorial. Your health profile, if you click on that, so you can add in your height, your weight, all of that stuff there. Your location services, if you want to use your location, that means the phone and watch will be connected. And app location permissions here is pretty important because you'll be able to see what apps are allowed and what apps aren't allowed to use various location services. So you can go through this and see what's being allowed, denied, and so on. Emergency location service. So if we tap on this, so if emergency location service is supported in your region, when you call or text an emergency number, your device can automatically send its location to emergency response partners. When you call or text an emergency number, emergency location service may use your device's location and Google location. Basically, this can help save your life if you're in a situation where you're not able to talk or something like that. You can just use that emergency SOS. It'll call them and they'll know your location. I leave it on. Google location accuracy, we don't really need to go into that one too much. Accessibility, these are extra options here like magnification, talkback, font size. You can look through those. Security here, if we tap on that, you have some screen lock. So if you want to turn on the lock for your pattern or pin, so this is basically going to lock the watch. So you'll always have to put in the pattern or pin to unlock it. And lastly, you have your system options here. If you tap on this, you can tap system updates, so you can check for updates on your watch. If there are updates, you can download them, and then you can power off your device here as well, restart it from here, your date and time, your input information, and you can even reset your watch right from here. So those are the settings with the Pixel Watch. All right, so that was the beginner's guide to the Pixel Watch. I hope this helped you learn how to use your new Google Pixel Watch and get more out of it. If it did, let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments as well. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification box to be notified when I post new videos. I'll be covering a lot more on the Pixel Watch as well as the Pixel 7 Pro. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.